I just bought a ring light. Let's go with this one. Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. It's been a while. How are we? In that last video, I said that I would do a Q&A for my next video. So here it is. 5 months later. I had you guys ask me questions on my Instagram story and you guys sent in a couple, but then I also asked you guys to send in some questions last week just to keep things a little current. In the last video that I uploaded, I was in the middle of my level 2 fieldwork and I was going through it. There's like no other explanation for why I stopped filming videos other than I was really going through it. I mentioned before on my channel that my commute was about 2 hours, so I really had no life, work-life balance. Who was she? I didn't know her. At that time, I was just very overwhelmed and I had to take a little break. But just to catch you guys up a little bit, some life updates. One of my biggest life changes, I'd say, was my move to Georgia. So my family relocated states. I no longer live in New Jersey. I am now a Southern girl. Another thing is I passed my boards. So I am officially a certified OT. So right now I'm just in the process of applying for my license, and then once I get that, then I can start looking for jobs and adulting. These last couple months have definitely been overwhelming. I'd say it's the best word to describe it. There's just been a lot of stuff going on aside from like OT things, just a lot of personal stuff that I've been dealing with, and that's part of the reason why it took me so long to come back. A lot of you guys have been DMing me on Instagram during this time, just telling me how you've been watching my videos and that they've helped you like get into OT school and they've helped you with your interviews. All those messages literally made my day. So thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. I really appreciate it. Anyway, let's get right into it. I made you guys wait like 6 months for these questions, so I'm not gonna make you wait any longer. Congrats on becoming an OTR. How do you feel? I feel really happy. It's a weird feeling because this is something that I've been working towards. I've said it so many times. It's something that I've been working towards literally since I was like 12, 13. The fact that this was something that I set in my mind to do from such a young age and that I actually accomplished it, it's a very surreal feeling. What was your experience taking the board exam / how did you study? I actually want to make a separate video on this question because I've been getting a lot of these questions recently. So if you're interested in anything NBCOT related, test related, stay tuned for that. I'm going to be putting out a video on that. I have research experience but not an OT related field despite being a psych major. Mention? I would definitely mention it, especially if research is something that you're actually interested in continuing in OT school, then I would definitely mention it. Does Columbia like it if you're in a sorority? Love your videos. Thank you. So I don't think it actually matters. I personally was not part of a sorority and I got into Columbia, but I also had classmates who were part of sororities and they also got into Columbia. So I don't think it's something that they necessarily look for or that they like. I think it's just seen as another extracurricular. Does a 4.0 make an applicant stand out? Yes, it does. Now, if a 4.0 is all that you have to show and you don't have any extracurriculars, then I don't think it would help much because schools would much rather have a well-rounded applicant than to have a 4.0 that just has a 4.0. How long did it take you to prepare for the exam after graduation? So I graduated in May, like I had the ceremony, but then technically I didn't really graduate until October because that's when my degree was conferred. And before October, I was doing my field work. So that ended like around September. But then after field work, I relocated states. So with the whole move and just like settling in, I actually didn't start studying until November. Then my test was set for December 19th. So I think I gave myself a good 6 weeks, but then The week of Thanksgiving, I didn't study. So if you subtract that, I actually studied for 5 weeks and I passed. So was it enough? I think so. There actually came a point, I think it was like the last week before I went to take it, where I was just over it. Like I was just like, I can't look at anything anymore. And I think that that's when you know you're ready. Like if you're tired of going over things and like you're just completely over it and like you just want to take the test, it's a sign that you're ready. Does graduating from Columbia give you a competitive edge when applying for jobs? I actually have no idea. I don't know. I will find out when I start applying. I haven't started applying yet. I hope so, because I paid a lot of money to be there. Favorite OT class. So my absolute favorite class in OT school wasn't even like a class. It was actually an elective, and it was my assistive technology elective. I just thought it was such a cool experience because we got to meet these kids that had postural control issues, and we got to build adaptive chairs for them. What's most exciting about OT? I think for me, it's like all the opportunities that the field has to offer, because I'm the kind of person that like I continuously like to grow and learn new things. So I could definitely see myself like being the OT that'll like jump across different settings. So the fact that I even have the opportunity to do that, I think is really exciting. My iPad died. In the meantime, while it turns on, we're gonna take a quick commercial break. This is just a quick reminder that if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. It's the little red button down below. It's absolutely free and it really helps me out a lot. Also, if you could like this video so it could reach more people, and leave a comment. I'm answering a lot of these questions, but if you have a question that I'm not answering today, leave it down below. I try to respond to every single comment. If not OT, what would you do? When I was little, I actually had a completely different dream. Not a lot of people know this about me, but I actually wanted to be an animator, like animate cartoons. And could I draw? No. As I grew older, that dream kind of faded, and I just think it's really funny because my younger brother, actually, that's what he's going to school for now. He's actually an animation major, so this is really funny how the tables turned. But then after animation, I thought that I wanted to be a doctor, specifically an endocrinologist. I thought I wanted to do this, but really I knew nothing about it. Like I just said that I wanted to be it because it's what my parents instilled in my head. But then I found OT, and that is where I actually fell in love. So honestly, like I really can't imagine myself in any other profession. Like I genuinely believe that this profession was created for me. I'm giving off very main character energy right now, but really when I started exploring like different fields and what I wanted to do, none of them really connected with me the way that OT did. I don't know if I answered your question. Maybe PT, because it's like the next most similar profession, but science classes. This is not a question, but I will turn it into a question. Are there science classes in OT school? Yes, I had to take anatomy, I had to take kinesiology, I had to take neuroscience. Are science classes hard? I feel like personally kinesiology and anatomy weren't that difficult for me because I feel like it was a lot of remote memorization, especially anatomy. The way I studied was literally just writing everything down over and over and over again. Now neuroscience. Oh, neuroscience.
I would cry almost every day. My friends and I, before a test, we would gather to study, but really we would gather to cry. Literally the worst time of my life.
I'm being a little dramatic, but it was not fun. It was doable. I definitely passed. I didn't fail. Actually did pretty good considering. I got a B, but it did not come easy. I definitely didn't sleep that semester. I don't want to scare you. You're gonna be okay. Remember, you made it to OT school. The hard part is over. At this point, C's get degrees, and one class does not define the kind of OT that you're gonna be. But science classes, What inspires you? I think one of the biggest things that inspires me is my family and the sacrifices that they've made for me. I'm a first-generation college student, and throughout my whole education, I never had to work. I had jobs here and there, but they were more so because I wanted to, not because I had to. My parents always made it clear that education came first and that they would provide for anything that I needed or wanted. So just all the sacrifices that they made for me really inspire me to achieve my goals and achieve my dreams. There's no way that I can repay everything that they've done for me, but if I can just give back in any way to show how grateful and appreciative I am, then that would make me really happy. So I'm getting a little emotional. I didn't mean to switch this up on you guys. Is Columbia University diverse in experience? It seems rehabilitation heavy. It's actually really funny that you feel like Columbia's rehabilitation heavy, because I feel like Columbia tries to make it a big emphasis that they're actually mental health heavy. If you look at the curriculum, your first year of OT school is mostly mental health courses, and then you also have mandatory level 1 and level 2 fieldworks in mental health. Most schools require you to have 2 level 2 fieldworks, so one in physical disabilities and then the other one is usually in pediatrics, but Columbia requires you to do the one in physical disabilities and mental health. And then if you want to do peds as a third option, or hand therapy, or whatever specialty you want to go into, then you can do that as an option, but you are required to do the mental health. How do you take notes in OT school? I actually was not as organized as I should have been in OT school. My notes were kind of all over the place. Sometimes I would just like type up my notes on Google Doc, and then sometimes I would take notes on my iPad, like writing directly over the slides. But I wasn't the best note taker during class. Like some of my best work when it comes to notes were notes that I took while I was studying. I'm gonna show you guys like an example. Well, this is like when I was studying for the NBCOT. I would write the topic up top. So this is for musculoskeletal injuries. And I would just like go through everything. Sometimes I'd like draw a picture to help me like see things better. And I would just make it like very colorful and fun so that I would want to look at it afterwards. I would definitely not make notes like this during class. Like during class, I was either like just trying to follow, typing along, or I was zoned out, unfortunately. Top 5 OT school tips. Make a study group. They're always helpful because everyone thinks differently and everyone sees things differently. So sometimes like when you're studying a concept that you're really not getting, someone else can help you see it through a different lens or can help you understand it in a much easier way. There would be times where I'd be struggling with a certain topic and then I'd go study it with somebody else and they'd give me like the simplest explanation. And I'm just like, why didn't I look at it like that before? So definitely get yourself a study group. Even if you don't like studying in study group, you can study by yourself and then join a study group. Number 2, don't stress grades too much. Like you don't have to prove yourself anymore, if that makes sense. C's do get degrees in grad school. You literally just have to pass. Number 3 kind of goes hand in hand with number 2. And it's the idea that like you're really in OT school to learn. Like it's not so much about getting the best grades anymore. It's about learning the material to be the best OT that you can be and that you want to be, hopefully. So enjoy every second of it, absorb what you can, take advantage of the opportunities that are presented to you. Number 4 is build relationships with your classmates and your professors. Once you're out of OT school, these are going to be your colleagues. I'm still in contact with a lot of my classmates. We still have our group chat where we like ask questions and ask each other for help. And last one, number 5, this can really just apply to life in general. And it's just to really live and be present in the moment. A lot of times we kind of just live life on autopilot, always just worrying about the next thing that's gonna happen. Like once I'm done with this, then like I'll be happy. Or once I finish OT school and once I get a job, once like there's always gonna be a next thing. So just remember to really just sit in the present and just take it in. Like you made it, like you're in OT school. This is something that you worked really hard for. So just be present, live in the moment, and and have fun. What is your next move professionally? So I think I mentioned this earlier in the video, but right now I'm in the process of applying for my license. You can't technically have a job without being licensed, and the process takes around 4 to 6 weeks, so I'm just waiting at this point. My goal is to work in a hospital setting, preferably inpatient rehab, since that's where I have most of my experience with field work, but I also don't mind acute care, so we'll see. And the last question, this was my favorite question. Why are you so cool?
You think I'm cool?
You commented on my story for my questions and you're like, why are you so cool?
That was like a long time ago. What?
So you don't think I'm cool anymore?
You still alright.
That is it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.